how to make your own homemade vinegar out of just about anything. So let's get started. All right, so I actually already got this one started, so I'm not going to be showing you how I fill the jar, but you know, you don't need to see all that. It's pretty simple. So my apples are ready for harvest already. I mean, this is about a month early, but so I need to get busy and start peeling and dehydrating lots of apples. I won't be making apple butter this year. I won't be making applesauce. We don't eat applesauce. It's just not our thing. And we have lots of apple butter and other types of fruit butters and jams put up from the last 2 years, and we don't eat it enough. So I won't be doing that. I'm going to be dehydrating most of my apples. So what I do is, to make apple cider vinegar, which is the most common, you simply, when you're peeling your apples for whatever it is you're doing, like I'm doing the dehydrating, making pies, making apple butter, applesauce, no matter what it is, you peel your apples and you take the cores and the peels and you put them in, this is a half-gallon jar, and you fill up your half-gallon jar just somewhat loosely, you don't pack it in there, with your peels and your cores. So nothing goes to waste. I mean, this is what makes making vinegar so cool. Then you're going to add, this is not necessary when you're using mostly fruit, but what I've been finding is that it does make a stronger vinegar. You take about, for this size, up to a quarter cup of your organic cane sugar. All right, so this is evaporated cane sugar. This is not the processed stuff. It's just going to have a nice blonde color. And you definitely don't want to buy just anything that just says white sugar and doesn't say cane sugar, because it is going to be, if it just says white sugar, like Western Family brand says white sugar, it is made from genetically modified sugar beets. So look for cane sugar, in particular organic evaporated cane sugar. That's the best for using for making vinegar. So just as with my fermentation starters, that's the sugar I use. You don't want to use honey, because especially raw honey, because the enzymes in the honey can actually kill off your yeast and your bacteria. Anyway, so that's why I stick with the sugar for this. So I put, like I said, I put the fruit, I add the sugars and the water, and then stir it up, and then maybe stir it while the water's here, then top it off with water. All right, this process is so incredibly easy that everybody should be making their own organic vinegar. There's no need to spend $20 or more a gallon on apple cider vinegar when you can make it easily at home. Even if you just bought some organic apples and threw them in there and didn't eat the apples, just cut up the apples and threw them in there, that's still going to be cheaper than your buying the special, you know what I'm talking about, the special brand. Not that that's not good, that's a good brand and all, I'd recommend it, but you can do this cheaply, easily at home. So that is started. Now what I typically would do with this, but I'm out of room now because I have so much vinegar going on top of my fridge, I would put this on top of my refrigerator because it's going to stay warmest there. However, this is summer, it's not such a big deal, I can set it anywhere. You just want it to stay warm, not hot, just warm. And 30 days you'll have vinegar. And then what you do, and this process I can show you because this one is ready. All you do, now for this one, in fact, I need to do this with this other one too, while I have grape leaves. I put a grape leaf across the top to help keep all the things I want in the vinegar down in there in the water. So what I like to do first is I will try to stick with something that's wooden and not metal for making vinegar or any kind of fermenting. So I'm going to lift off this grape leaf and whatever other stuff comes with it. Okay, and you can spoon out as much as you want. Now this vinegar right here, this is the type I make for using as my hair rinse. So I wouldn't use this to cook with or make salad dressing out of or anything I'm going to eat, because it's not a tasty vinegar. This is made from rose petals. I believe this one has pansies in it too, and lavender. So it's a very strong perfumey kind of vinegar. So you don't have to lift all that out. I need to eventually get myself a bigger strainer. So I try to lift a big chunk of it out so that I don't have to worry about it so much. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one has pansies in it because it has this just nice, really nice color. Because all the pansies I had put in here would have been more my purples and reds. And of course it's got the color from the rose petals and the lavender. So, and there you have it. It's that easy. So now I have, that's probably going to be, what is it? It's almost 8 cups. So that is a half gallon, almost a half gallon of organic rose pansy lavender vinegar that I'm going to use for rinsing my hair with. And it's very good for your hair. Lavender in particular helps stimulate hair growth. So then what I'll do is I'm going to wash out this jar because I'm out of half-gallon jars now because I've got them all filled up with something. And I'm going to pour this back into here to store it. And so I'll do the same thing with this. Because I have this so full of fruit, I'm probably not going to get a whole half gallon, or well, I'm certainly not going to get a whole half gallon, but I might get a little bit better. I'll get better than a quart out of this. But for as cheap as this is to make, I mean, it really, it's to me, this was free because all these flowers came directly from my garden. Now, you can make your vinegar from any kind of fruit. I have currently going right now, I have a peach vinegar from the pits and the peels. And I got in my batch, since my own peach tree is not at the point of producing fruit yet, I order peaches from the local fruit stand and then peel them, take the pits out, throw them in the jars, and then just same process. I didn't add sugar to those because they're very sweet. Top it off with water, cover it with a cloth to keep the bugs out, but it still will need to breathe. And 30 days, vinegar, peach vinegar. Peach vinegar is a nice flavor for putting on salads or using for just about anything. My very favorite vinegar for flavor and aroma is raisin vinegar. So when I make raisin vinegar, I'll put the raisins in about to here. And because that's all you need, since they are dehydrated, obviously they're gonna swell and they're gonna fill up to about there. And then again, no sugar needed for that one because they're very sweet on their own. Have plenty of sugar. Top it off with water. Cover it with a cloth. It's okay if you end up with a layer of mold on the top. You just carefully lift that out. That's not going to hurt anything in the vinegar because the vinegar itself is going to kill any of that stuff. So I've never had any issues with it. Anyway, so I also wanted to show you while I'm here. Yesterday I made a fermentation video and I showed you my starter I had started 3 days ago, and you can see it's very bubbly on the top, and I can open it up and I can hear it fizzing now without shaking it, where yesterday I had to shake it up to get the bubbles and get it to fizz. And this is after I actually added a little more water and more sugar, and that usually takes the fizzing down until it catches up. Now tomorrow, even though this is ready right now, I can use it to start kimchi or whatever I want. Tomorrow I'll go ahead and top it off with water and add a little bit more sugar. And you want to wait when you add to it, when you add your water and your sugar, you want to wait another day before you use it. So I'm not in a hurry to ferment anything. I am going to be fermenting some of my cucumbers slices so I can have my lacto fermented pickles because they're my favorite kind. And then this is the one I started yesterday. It's not bubbly yet. You know, I can get a few little bubbles. Let me listen to it. Yeah, it's trying, but it's not typically, you're not really going to see any action out of it until tomorrow. So this is the one I started with my blackberries, and it just a layer of blackberries, just that high, sugar, little bit of sugar, add a teaspoon per day, and water. So I'm just rehashing the other video just to explain and show you the process. So I've already done this. You can see it's higher up than it was in yesterday's video, and then tomorrow I'll fill it up to here, more sugar, and next day the same thing until it's topped off. So those are my fermentation starters. So anyway, vinegar. Here's the rose lavender pansy, and I'll show you what the raisin vinegar looks like. It turns out, as you would expect, a rather brown. And I wish I had smell-o-vision so you could smell this, because the smell of the raisin vinegar to me is just, I don't even know how to describe it, but I love cooking with this and making salad dressings. So that's what that looks like. But then of course you'll have your apple cider vinegar and the peach vinegars. And then once you have your vinegars made, here's the other thing you can do with it, and this is what I like to do, especially my just plain basic ones like the apple, is I will make medicinal and healthy tinctures using my vinegar. So I don't have to use vodka to do it. Vinegar will work. I just give it a longer time, and I will be doing another video soon about making how to make your own tinctures. And there's other things you can do too. Besides vodka, you can also use food grade glycerin. And I do that. I just started doing that with the vanilla, because the vinegar obviously I don't want to do with vanilla, because I tried it just out of curiosity, and it actually made a tasty vinegar, but it wouldn't have been good for adding to baking stuff. So there you go. How to make vinegar. Super, super easy. There's no reason why anyone can't do this. Any fruit you want, literally any fruit you want. I've made it with citrus peels, mints from the garden, had a nice minty vinegar. I used that one for making medicinal tinctures, for headache remedies and stuff. Just anything you can think of, you can make vinegar out of it. Pineapple rinds. Any fruit scraps will work. So you don't have to spend extra money on it. The only thing extra you're gonna spend is whenever you add your sugar. And obviously that's just gonna be pennies. And oh, I forgot one more thing. I'm glad I remembered this. Just like with making your fermentation starters, when you're making your vinegar, you do not want to use city tap water that has the chlorine and the fluoride in it. You have to use some sort of water that has none of that in it, whether it be store-bought distilled water. I use rainwater that we collect and filter ourselves with a Berkey filter. You can also use spring water, whatever you have available to you or if you have a well, if you're in a place where you have a well, your well water should be great. Okay, you just mostly do not want your chlorine and fluoride in it, because it will affect, the chlorine can totally kill the process. So you may not get vinegar at all, it'll just rot and it'll be nasty. And chlorine can affect it, or fluoride will affect it too, and fluoride is very toxic to the body anyway, so you don't want anything fluoridated going into your body if you can help it. So, all right, that's how to make vinegar. I think I got it all. It's a pretty simple process. And like I said, it's a pretty simple process. I'm going to say it like 5, 6, 10 times, because I can't say it enough. People spend a lot of money on vinegar, special organic vinegar, when they can do it at home and for pennies or less. So please have fun trying different things. Make your own vinegar, and you'll just be so excited that it's that easy, that cheap. So have fun, take care, God bless.